I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I direct the choir in my church. Professionally, I work as an attorney, full-time, and then I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer. I'm from everywhere. I'm a child of the world. No, I was born and raised in Monrovia, Liberia. We moved to the United States as a result of the Civil War in 1990. And while in the United States, we moved to several different places. So I have lots of hometowns. Monrovia, Brooklyn, Lansing, Michigan, but I spent the most amount of time in New Jersey. So Newark, New Jersey, Brick City. I've always known that. From as early as I can remember, I've always been passionate about music. I remember when I was a little girl, I don't know, maybe like 5 years old, I would be walking in the courtyard of our compound, and I would be making songs up, and I would be so loud that everybody would be like, "Can you shut up, please?" But I would come up with songs like in other languages, allegedly. And just, it was always a passion of mine. But I remember writing songs when I was I think I wrote my first song when I was 8 years old. I can still remember the song, and I was just drawn to music, particularly singing and songwriting. I have 3 projects out, 3 completed studio projects. We started out with Remember the Blood, which is like, the baby and the one that started to birth everything. And then we did When the Trumpet Shall Sound. And then we did Jesus Did It All. That's the current project that's out. And now we have this amazing song that's out or that's coming out. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so excited for people to hear it. And I pray that they'll be connected to the message and the words. I have so many people that are important to me, and I don't like to limit it, but obviously, God is the most important. My husband, my children are the most important people. My family, let's just say my family. And my family is not just blood-related relatives. They are people who have been there with me through ups and downs, through storms, through wars, through relocations, through deaths, through births, through everything. And so my family, my village, I would say, are the most important people to me. They're all indispensable. I can't do without any of them. And so, yeah, my family, and they know who they are. There are several moments that I can sort of pinpoint and look back on to say, yeah, this is really when I knew who I was as a human being and as a person and as a singer or whatever. I think obviously the first propelling moment or the first defining moment for me is when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. It really was something that I will never forget. I was a freshman in college, and I was invited to a revival, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll go, whatever. And when I went, I met Jesus, and that day changed me because who I was changed, right? Who I thought I was, who I believed I was, how I felt about myself changed, because now I didn't see myself through the lens of, friends, family, or society, but I saw myself through the lens of Christ and how he saw me and what he thought I could do. And from that moment, I just felt invincible. I thought that there was absolutely nothing I could not do, because I had this Savior that gave his life for me. I had this God that says that I was, more than a conqueror and all this other stuff. So I said, okay, I can do it. So that was definitely the defining moment for me. And then the other one was when it was a very tragic time in my life. I lost my mom and my brother, and very close in time, within 30 days of themselves, 32 days. And it was my first year in law school, and I had to deal with grief and then planning, sudden grief all of a sudden, and then planning funerals and going back and forth to Africa, and then dealing with the weight of the responsibility of now being alone. Everything that I had known had now disappeared. And so at that time, I was able to really connect with God, and I was able to really realize that I was stronger than I knew I was, because I was able to do things that I just didn't think I could do, because I always relied on them. And so not having them and having to rely on myself made me understand that there was really nothing that I couldn't do and that everything really will be okay. It put things in perspective for me. It's like, things happen, people start worrying and people start getting depressed and, losing all kind of weight, which would be nice. But they start doing all kinds of things because they're frustrated about something that they can't change, some external thing. And when those events happened to me, I recognized that I can get through anything, not because of me, but there's the power on the inside of me that has allowed me to withstand those things. And so those two moments, I think, have really been the defining moments of my life thus far. And I think they will go with me throughout everything else that I do moving forward. How do I do it? Artist, attorney, wife, mother, friend, sister, choir mistress. How do I do it all? I do it all because I love it and I have a passion for it. I think you make time and you make room for the things that you're passionate about, or you make excuses for the things you aren't passionate about. And so each of those things are very, very important to me. And each of those things make up who I am. And so without one piece or without another piece, I'm not really complete. And so I make the time to do all of those things. And I also recognize that I can't do everything. So there are times when I need to take a break from one thing, or I need to, chill on something else. I will. And I recognize that. There are times when you need to kind of just refuel, rejuvenate yourself, and then you'll be able to pick it up again. So I think I do everything that I do by the grace of God. With respect to music, obviously, Son of God, Son of Mine really is a year-round song. It's an Easter song, it's a communion song, it's just a song, period, for any time, because it tells a story, a universal story, a story as old as time that cannot be limited sort of by seasons. And so Son of God, Son of Mine is out. I think we're going to be working on a tour. We want to try to get the music out to cities so people can hear Jesus Did It All and some of the songs on that album. We're trying to create relationships with other producers to create some fresh, new sound that is welcoming to everybody. We don't want to be, boxed in by any kind of genre or by any sort of category. We want to be, God told us to go out into the world, right? And so we want to go out as far as our voice can take us and have the biggest tent possible and have all kinds of people enjoy the music, connect to the music, and help us move the message of Jesus Christ forward. All right, so when we first immigrated here, because we had traveled back and forth before, but when we first moved, finally, as a result of the war, we came as refugees, essentially. We were seeking refuge here from a very, very brutal civil war. We had to get out. And but for the grace of God and the open arms of, the United States government, we probably would have been, killed in Liberia, or we would have been stuck in a camp somewhere in West Africa. But we were allowed and we were given the grace and the privilege to come here. And when we came, we took it, I personally took it very, very seriously. It was very precious to me. And so I made every effort to make sure that I was a contributing member of society, to make every effort that I would pay this country back for everything that it's given me, because essentially it gave me my life back, right? And so to have the opportunity to come here as a refugee is a privilege, yes, but it's something that I think this country is principled around, right? It's built on opening its arms to people. This country was founded by people who were seeking refuge from the crown. It was founded by people who were seeking religious freedoms. And so that is one of the things that I think is very important as Christians and as Americans in general to remember how this country was founded and why it was founded. So I think it's very important that we receive people, we welcome people, we try to integrate them into society, and we give them an opportunity, because once given opportunities, you have all these amazing talents and gifts that come up. That's what makes this country so beautiful. The beautiful gifts from all over the world that come together to unite and glorify United States. That's why we're here. So I think it's a blessing for me. It's been a blessing for me, and I pray that others would have the same opportunity that I had.